Apostles are a frontline perk. Your melee slot is replaced by a permanent weapon called Theurgia's Hand, which cannot be replaced. The hand deals 15 damage for 2 light swings and 30 for the final. Your heavy attack deals 50 damage and applies Condemn. Each time you pull the weapon out, you take 25 damage, and can kill you. You can parry with this weapon as well. Condemned enemies are not affected in any ways from this debuff. Condemned enemies give 15 health back when killed by either your hand or your shadow hunter. Guns do not heal back. You can condemn enemies in 2 ways, landing a heavy attack on an enemy and throwing a stake. A stake can be thrown by holding F. Stakes do not do any damage but can stun the enemy. It also costs 3 health to throw a stake. Press F once to summon your shadow hunter, more commonly known as Dave. He costs 20 health to summon. He has 150 health, 25% resistant to gunfire. Bullets fired at Dave have a chance of doing no damage. Dave can block, parry and dodge like the Sledge Queen. They focus on condemned enemies. They can shadow fade, becoming invulnerable to gunfire for a few seconds when half health. Players that die can benefit Apostles. When a player dies, their charge fills back up to 100% and can summon 2 shadow hunters. The shadow hunters spawned right after the player dies will take their appearance. Only a maximum of 2 can be spawned at one time. If attempted, the weakest will die and the new one will replace it. Getting the perk. To get this perk you must kill a Sickler. Yes, these guys. Not these guys. Best way to kill one is with a drifter and throwing knives. Light attacks the Sickler 4 times and throw 3 throwing knives right after. Pros: increased max stamina from 100 to 150, increased max health from 100 to 125, immune to fracture. Theurgia's Hand, a pro and con as it's a good melee, and said melee is vital to your tanking and health management. Immune to Hanger's influence, the Hanger will stop asking you to spam E and shout insults at you. Fallen Agents, players who die can be resummoned as a NPC shadow hunter. Cons: reduced movement speed, inability to aim ranged weapons, reduced recoil control. Theurgia's Hand, a con as you can't get rid of it in any way since it is bound to you. You are unable to scrap melees or get better melees as a result. Advice to newer Apostles: this perk has one of the game's highest skill ceilings and lowest skill floors. This perk is melee focused and you need to be able to parry, dodge and attack to succeed. Because your weapon handling is so poor, it's best to craft KSGs for later waves. Your shadow hunters are resistant to guns, but not melee attacks. Help them out by killing them. Recommended traits: Fearless makes you able to tank gunfire along with your hunter, Manic for faster heavy swings for higher tagging rates, Impatient more movement speed to counteract Apostle's low speed downside, or Paranoid if you want to go guns blazing with KSGs. Recommended traits: Manic for more tagging, Fearless to tank bullets, Paranoid for using KSG, or Impatient for quality of life. Recommended equipment: Danjaniel No. 8 applies painkillers and tinnitus when used for 30 seconds. Painkillers boost your defense and ignore arterial and primary bleeding, fractures, and cripples. Really good for frontliners in a decent team. Coldera Black, one of the Tide's second best auxiliary equipment, which negates 1/3 of morale debuffs and buffs stats slightly. Tear Gas, to apply max fracture to gun scabs and stunning scabs around your Dave.